Hey guys, how are you? Going live on YouTube. Well, I'm just thankful and pushing forward. Life, in so many ways, is about resiliency, endurance, the ability to keep getting up, the ability to keep fighting. Because it is true. Look, every day is a little bit of a battle. Sometimes the battle is just to wake up, put your shoes on, get in the shower, get in the gym, do whatever you want to do. Simply, Seminole says, hey, hello to you. Been good talking to you. Been good building with you. Thank you for sharing your journey. Just keep pushing forward. And I appreciate that. Sally gave the heart and the thumbs up. Thank you. Tonight, that's how I was reflecting on is, how do you keep your balance in life? Because many times in life you do fall. Many times in life you lose your balance. And DMX had that song, slipping and falling and can't get up. And Albert Einstein had that quote. Life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. You ever ride a bike when you're young and you go through that whole experience and a parent or elder is teaching you how to ride a bike, and they kind of stand behind you and then they push you off. You're wobbly in the beginning, and you lose your balance, and then you got to stop and put your leg down on the ground. And what you learn is kind of like you need to keep moving to keep your balance. I remember riding a jet ski for the first time, and I was scared, and scared is the right word. I was scared of hitting the waves, and it was like, fluctuating, and it would knock me off my balance. And one of the people that kind of like give you the brief training before you go out in the sea there is, he said, you're bucking a lot and you're stalling a lot and you're having issues because you're not moving. You gotta just keep your hand on the throttle. You gotta keep moving. And he goes, the slower you go, the more you keep stopping, the harder it's going to buck. And that's like life. Now, certainly you're going to fail. Certainly you're going to get knocked off balance. Certainly you experience all these different things in life, but there's no way around it. But how do you get back up? How do you keep pushing forward is you keep moving. During the course of the day, the seduction is to stay idle. The seduction is to give into sad thoughts and get paralyzed. How do you get past them? You just keep moving. You go for a walk. I've often shared, going through a heartbreak. What did I do? I just kept walking at night, even as I was crying. I just kept walking. Losing my job, not my job, but losing my dog, and different times in my life, losing my job. How do you keep going forward from that? I often share with people, look, I just got job fillers. Whether it was working at a pizzeria, whether it was taking jobs that I knew were not what I wanted to do. I knew it was not a long-term solution, but I just found it best to just do something, to keep moving. Because momentum is, in one sense you could say, look, yeah, working certain jobs, working certain things is just not worth my time. And I understand. I mean, I got to that point in my life too, but what I found is a lot of time is just keeping yourself lubricated, keeping yourself, like when something is used, it's like it's lubricated. It's not rusty and stiff. The more you sit in life, and take that as like a parable, but the more you sit in life, the more you stand idle, the more your parts rust, the more your mind rusts, the more your soul rusts. It's painful. It's only by the grace of God sometimes you're going to look back in your life and say, how did I keep moving? And that reminds me of my friend's plaque that he had on his wall when I would visit his house as a child. His parents were very spiritual, and it was the footprints in the sand plaque. And for those not familiar with that, it basically is like a piece of artwork that shows footprints in the sand and a guy walking all the way at the top. And it was a guy like kind of like searching peace, and he was asking God. He goes, God, or God said to him, like, look, I've always been with you. And he was like, well, what about the hard times in my... God said to him, I've always been with you. And the guy was like, well, what about the hard times in my life when I see in the footprints in the sand, there was only one set of footprints. Where were you then when I needed you the most? And the plaque goes on to say that when there was only one footprint in the sand, that was me carrying you. That was the grace of God getting you through the tough days, the relationship failures, the financial failures, the mental breakdowns, all the things that you are totally overwhelmed with. It's grace. It's by grace. And if you don't think it's by grace sometimes, you haven't been hit by life enough. But we got to be thankful, and we have to put one foot in front of the other, and we have to keep moving. That's the message tonight. Keep moving as best you can. Do what you can with what you have, and just keep moving. That's how you keep your balance. Okay, now we go to live comments. And Simply Seminole says, I get that. I'm trying to get balance and direction. Well, I understand that, and I appreciate you sharing your story, and I thank you for sharing your story. You've been through some things. I know several people that have been very similar circumstances than you. Everyone has their own unique circumstance, and it's not about, trying to say who has the saddest story. But certainly, you've been through some challenging things, and what I can tell you is you just got to keep moving, and you'll find your way. But I understand. Look, I understand life is hard, so I try to encourage people. Look, just keep pushing forward. I certainly understand the counterpoint to that. Look, you don't understand how hard it is. Look, I understand that, but there's like nothing I can do as well either, other than say, look, all I do every day of my life is just say, Sam, I just got to keep moving forward. What I have, what I'm able to deal with, and look, I have love and compassion even for people who stop moving. I understand. But what I've learned in life is you can't take on the sadness of the world. You have to be empathetic, compassionate, yes. But you just focus on what can I do? What can I change? Because when you start to let your mind go to that place on how can I change everything in this world? How can I make everyone happy? You go down this road of nothing and you become paralyzed because you can't. And you really come to that conclusion after many years soul searching, and you just have to remember to focus on what you can control. That prayer of, I believe, sobriety, they call it, when they say that ask God for the grace to focus on the things within my control. I think that's wisdom. I never had any like major addiction as far as to drugs or alcohol, but I've certainly had friends and family members. But life, there's so many addictions. There's food, there's relationships, there's cigarettes. There's so many different, and I've been addicted to cigarettes. I guess that's a drug, and I was able to quit that by the grace of God. But what I can here to tell you is, one day at a time. That's number one. Two is, and try to keep smiling. Try to play your music. Try to walk, and you'll find your direction through that. And what I also share with you in my experience is, even when you find your direction, you're going to get lost again. That's why it's important to have a foundation. That's why I believe in mind, body, soul. That's why I did my first really layer of self-improvement in my life when I became a young adult was to search a spiritual foundation. And I think that's key. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't really believe in like a religious philosophy, because I certainly saw deception in religion in all of them. But the core principles, what basically is, look, treat people right, period. Treat people right, period. That's the whole thing, okay? Everything else is a mind fuck. Just treat people right, try to do your best, and that's it. That's a foundation, okay? People want to make it complicated. It's not complicated. I remember one time reading the scripture, they asked Jesus, what's the most important commandments? He goes, love God and love others. That's it. You can summarize the whole Bible right there. Love God, love others. That's it. People mind fuck that. People have to go to church for 20 years to get that and still don't get that. People have to give donations after donations, and their pastors embezzle it, and it goes to the Red Cross, and it's a never-ending thing. Look, you know, you don't really need to go through this whole elaborate cross-examination of every evil in the world. It all comes down to this. Treat people as best you can. When you fail, apologize, forgive, move on. The grace of God be with you, peace be with you. That's it. You know, how people get it crossed up into all these other arguments and wars and different, that's all part of politics and money. There's nothing really to do about spirituality. You know, when religion is used to grab people's attention, when it's used to sway people's opinion, when it's used to create wars, that all has to do with some smart person in the background who's using that against the people to manipulate them for power and money, period. It really has nothing to do with like true spirituality. So just be mindful of that. And then simply says, an airplane has to go at minimum speed or else it stalls. Well, that's a good comment. I didn't know that. That's a great comment. Thank you. She says an airplane has to go a minimum speed or it stalls. Good comment. As we do. I agree. That's a good comment. Ari, forgive me if I say the name wrong. Ari. I say Ari MBO. Yes, sir. I re-engineered my vehicle and my mind. No more living life according to the society's definition. Laugh out loud. 100. Amen. I thank God for the hippie movement. Now, where the hippie movement started, that whole like anti-society, when everything was Brady Bunch, straight lace. The only thing I will say to add to the hippie movement is, look, I'm not anti-society. I'm anti, like, don't just let society dictate to you. But you also have to realize, look, you need a job, okay? It's not about, like, just forgetting everything, living in your van and, like, you know, just, living in a remote woods and now, if you want to do that, you're not hurting anyone, you can support yourself. I say, God bless. I'm not like somebody to dictate to anyone what to do with their life. But what I found in my life is even when you live this simple, non-conforming life, you need society's infrastructure. You need money to feed yourself, to give your vehicle gas. When your vehicle breaks down, you're going to need a mechanic. You're going to need society to fix that vehicle. So where the hippie movement was, society was so straight-laced, it had to totally buck it to bring it a little bit more into balance. But some of the hippie movement went way too far where, look, you still need to be as far as like in society, as far as working, as far as using the facilities and infrastructure. So there's somewhere in the middle there's a balance. And for everyone, that balance is different. How do we find balance? We keep moving until we find our balance. And then this is what I'm here to tell you as well, is once you find your balance, eventually you get knocked off balance again. So there's many times in life, like you think you got it all figured out and you're running around and you got your music on. And I remember one time working as an apprentice in the construction field as an electrician, and like I was feeling good, like I figured something out, and it was lunch break, and I was like, like I got everything figured out, I'm making money, everything's a go. And my foreman was like, all right, I want you to take the pickup truck to go get lunch for the guys. So I was like, all right, no problem. So I get in the pickup truck, I turned on like Funkmaster Flex, and I was like, oh, yeah, let's go. And I back up the pickup truck because I'm in another world, like I'm feeling myself. And I back up the pickup truck and I ram into the supervisor's car because like I'm feeling myself. I think I got life figured out. And I said, oh shit! Turn the music down, and I went into the trailer and I told the guy, I said, look, man, I'm sorry, I backed into your car, broke your tail light, and I think the supervisor's like, well, you know what? I really appreciate you not just hitting my car and, like just going away and no one know who did it. So we just worked it out or whatever. I think I had to pay him a couple $100s to get it fixed. But that's a life lesson there. You're going to get to a point in your journey where you think you got everything figured out. You turn your music up. You're like, nobody can stop me. And then all of a sudden you fucking back into something and then you get humbled. This is life. That's life. Does that mean, though, you should walk around timid? I mean, I've cross-examined that, too. I don't think so. I mean, because I think when you walk around timid, I don't think you ever fulfill your destiny. I remember fucking up one time at work. I remember I was starting a new company, and I just, like, moved up, and I was on a conference call. It's like one of my first conference calls with this new company in my new position, and so, like, I was trying to show how smart I was, and they brought up a topic that I knew something about. So I started speaking real passionate about it, like this is what we need to do, this, and this. And even though some of the stuff I was saying was right, like I came across wrong, and my demeanor wasn't like right. And then like the director was like, Sam's new, you know, this and that. And I know I kind of like, then I put the director a little bit on the spot. And like a couple weeks later, I realized I was wrong. I apologized to the director. And he said, no, I understand, Sam. He was gracious. I give him a lot of credit. He said, Sam, I understand, you know, you're trying to, you know, and I appreciate that. And then the next conference call weeks later, after I like kind of like spoke out of turn, I was, a subject came up and I was asked for my input. And I just, I like mumbled the answer. I was timid. I was like, because I was so scared and so embarrassed from failing in the last conference call that I went from being like extra confident to like being super timid. And that was almost worse, because then after the conference call ended, the director called me. He said, Sam, what the fuck was that? He goes, I need you. He goes, I understand that, you know, you're a little bit timid now, that, you know, like you feel like you went too far the last time. He goes, but you got to be you. You can't like just not share. You got to like just go for it. You know, I mean, you know, don't like go where you went with it last time, but you know, you got to assert yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And so finding that balance is key. How do you find that balance? I mean, you know, you just got to keep it moving. You got to keep being you. You got to figure it out, you know, refine it as you go. Saying, John, take the first step. Guys, give me some feedback. Is this video coming in clear? Because I always worry about that sometimes if my Wi-Fi is clear enough. Let me know. Or is it buffering? Saying, John, good to see you. Take the first step. That's key to everything. Take the first step, and if you fall, you get back up. The godly may fall 7 times, but they will get up again by the grace of God. Eric, what's up, man? What's up to you? How are you today? Overall, I feel good, feel thankful, recharging, repairing my mind, body, and soul on this holiday weekend. Spent a lot of time at the beach, a lot of time in the sun. Can you see a little bit of suntan? Walked a lot, shaved my head, kept the beard pretty much a go, shaved my head in Planet Fitness. Had to push myself to get there this morning, but I did. I'm thankful I did. Never go more than 3 days without working out. And when I say a workout, I mean like a 15-minute workout. You don't have to go like crazy. The key thing to your health and well-being is what you eat and how much you eat, and staying away from cigarettes and alcohol as best you can. That's key. Keep your body moving. That's how you keep your health simple, and that's how I keep from overeating. I keep walking. I keep my body in motion, because if you just sit long enough and you stare, you're just gonna eat for the sake of eating. I've been down that road, been 350 pounds. Simply, no pity party here. While love and respect. Lillian, what's up, Lillian? 1320, greetings. We have helpers watching us sometimes, yet they are here in 10 physical world, and other times they are spiritual helpers looking out for us when we are down. I believe that. But look, I hear you as far as like, you know, a greater being being with us and guiding us, and angels protecting us, and in however form you want to say it, that's positive. I got no problem with that, and I appreciate you sharing that, and I appreciate your faith. I think you need faith in life, and I respect that. I respect any faith that is basically preaching self-improvement and not hurting others. If your faith is just to keep you grounded and keep you well and treat people right, that's a go for me. I don't care what you want to label it and how you define it, or, you know, but as long as it's not like, you know, out there in that left field, we're a go. Simply, you neglect yourself when you're too busy trying to please others. That's true, and usually when you're too busy trying to please others, you're insecure, which I've been at times, but you're also sometimes just a very sensitive, compassionate person, which I've also been. And then you get burnt so many times, then you become like so cynical and so resistant. You're like, fuck everybody. You know, I was nice to everybody, now I can't stand. You know, so you got to find that balance. You know, how do you find that balance? You just don't give up, right? So you may go from being super extra sensitive and super extra loving to like super extra cynical. I've seen plenty of people go down that road. Like many people who are like super cynical, hard-nosed, whether it's religious or political, they've been burnt because they try to be too soft. You got to find balance, you know, and you know, how do you find balance? Just don't give up. It's hard not to want to give up in life. Just keep moving on. Sammy Lee, Serenity Prayer from Slaughterhouse 5. Okay, I don't know that one. Cheesy McStuffins. Cheesy McStuffins in the house. Howdy, Cheesy Grin. That's what I'm talking about. Cheesy McStuffins, that's my guy. Traveling van. Good to see you, brother. Simply Seminole says, I went to spiritual awakening class today. The thought I got was stop fighting and start finding. It's hard. I mean, I think every day is a fight in regards to, I feel the resistance every morning when I wake up. You know, on the weekdays, I wake up 5, 6 a.m. Today I slept, the latest usually I ever sleep, like 6:45 a.m. There's a seduction that you have to fight in the morning to wake up before 7 a.m. and to get going. That's a fight for me, you know, and it's a fight to get to the gym. And that's why I understand as you get older in life. Now, as you get older, some things get better. You're a little bit more mature, you know, maybe you're a little bit better situated. So you may not have to fight certain things, but there's other things you have to fight. And certainly at a certain point in this life where you're, like I've spent a lot of time with senior citizens, and some of them, and I understand why they say it, they say, Sam, I'm tired of fighting. I had enough of everything. I understand that. But I think what you'll find is when you have the wrong people in your life, you're always fighting. I often say, look, you can't fight this world. You can't fight, you know, you go to your job, you got to fight there in one sense. You know, you deal with people in the street, or you deal with people in life and society, you got, you know, deal with some assholes. You can't go out in the world and fight them and then also come to your inner circle and fight them. You know, you can't come in your chat room of life and your family members, your father, your lover, you have to fight them as well as the world. That's why I cut certain people out. Because look, I'm exerting all my strength fighting back against letting this world totally take my soul. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I fight to stay as positive as possible. The last thing I want to do is fight somebody in my inner circle. They're supposed to be my recharge support system. They don't have to always agree with me, but they shouldn't be fighting me. If they're fighting me, you got to go. That's my mandate, because I got to keep myself in a healthy space. When I'm in my personal inner circle time, that's for me to recharge so I can muster up enough strength to fight again tomorrow. And what you're going to find is when you're burnt out, you got the wrong people in your inner circle, because you're fighting the world and you're fighting the people in your inner circle, and that's a no-go. That's how you burn yourself out. That's how you end up totally out of control. You got to be careful. Pack Live, what's up, brother? Love and respect to the West Coast. What's up, Sam? What's up to you, brother? Sunglass face emoji. In America today, we haven't and haven't paid yet. Do media tell if you buy or take this makes you happy? Oh, I hear you. Falsehood of happiness. Yeah. Basically saying that, look, you know, media or society says this pill, this weight loss program, this thing can make you happy. This vehicle, this RV. And certainly sometimes things can complement your life, but really taking care of yourself, mind, body, soul, has always got to be the foundation. Then if you add something on top of that that can enhance your life, there's nothing wrong with that. But like I always say, like, look, there's plenty of miserable people everywhere, and I've been up and down the East Coast of America. So moving to a different state won't necessarily change your life. What changes your life is knowing yourself well, taking care of yourself well, because then you can position yourself to be in a little bit better place. And then anything you add on top of that hopefully can just enhance that. But no one else can do that work other than you. Your therapist, your pastor, your lover, no one else can do the work of your life. They can guide you, they can instruct you, and even when they guide and instruct you, you're going to realize a lot of times they were wrong because they're not you. No one has your fingerprint. Your parents, your pastor, your psychiatrist, no one else can truly find you. That work, that diligence has to be done by you daily. Now, people can help you, people can encourage you along the way, people can, you know, guide you, just like on a bike. You know, they can give you a little push. You're going to need that in life, but eventually you got to take that bike and you got to keep moving, because that's how you keep your balance. Never forget it. Luke, hey, my brother, hope you're having an awesome night. So I hope you are too. So I'm sending you some positive energy. Well, thank you. Working night shift. Well, love and respect. I've did that for many years. Love and respect to everyone working the night shift and working the holiday weekend. Love and respect. He's working the night shift tonight, and sometimes dealing with the general public drives me crazy. Well, I understand that. Thank you, Luke. That's why I used to a little bit like working the night shift, because you don't have to deal with as many people in the public. A lot of times when you work the night shift, it's just you and maybe a couple other people, depending on what job you have, and there's a lot of solitude, and I like that. Sometimes it messes with your sleep cycle, but that can be good. as far as like not having to deal with a lot of people. But love and respect to you, Luke, working hard, and everyone who is working night shift or working on this holiday weekend. Also, love and respect to Ricardo, who has been working, but they asked him to work overtime this weekend. He said, "Look, I just need time for myself, take care of his mental health and his life," and that's wisdom too. That's why live below your means as much as possible, so that you don't have to work every bit of overtime. I've worked a lot of overtime, especially in the beginning of my career, especially before I went on salary. And what I could tell you is, there's nothing wrong with that. You got to do it, and then sometimes it's a great blessing. But you want to try to position your life so you don't always have to, so that you can spend time self-caring. You need self-care. Never forget that. Cheesy McStuffins gave me the ocean wave, palm tree, and the smiley sun. Thank you, brother. Luke, tonight I'm rocking old school hip hop to keep the good vibes going. And then he gave the fun pop emoji, hand pump emoji. Amen. Yeah, I was just listening to Nas on YouTube, old mixtape album. So I'm with you on that. You got to listen to your music, whatever it is. I don't care if it's death metal, gospel, or hip hop. Just listen to whatever inspires you. Patrick, hey man, been watching your videos lately. Thank you. I'm going to be moving to the Outback soon. Okay. To my Subaru Outback. I'm not mad at that. Got to get out behind these walls. I understand that, brother. Love and respect and best wishes to you on your journey. I look at now, for me, okay, this is for me. I look at apartments and houses as sheetrock prisons. They're a blessing. It was a blessing to me to own my condo for 15 years, and love and respect to everybody who wants to live in one. Maybe one day, eventually down the road, I'd want to live in one again. But for me, at this point, especially, I'm blessed right now, with good health and my energy and my, overall youth, is I would just say, look, seize the moment if you have the time window to live this lifestyle, if you want to, because for me, living within the sheetrock walls is a sheetrock prison. And I have to, in order for me to stay in a healthy place, I actually need to be living as a nomad. At this point in my life, that may change, but at this point in my life, this actually keeps me in a healthy space. When I have a bad day, when I'm having the bad times, like knowing that I'm living very simply is healing to me. Some people it may not be, but for me, it's a blessing, and I'm thankful. Cheesy McStuffins says, "Do what you do, dum doody do." I'm not mad at that. Cheesy McStuffins, Ari MBO, 2 thumbs up, thank you. Luke, every time I hear the Digital Underground song Humpty Dance, I cannot stop smiling. I'm not mad at that. Pac, that was Tupac's original break. The Digital Underground gave him his original break. Yeah, the Humpty Dance is a dance. Do the hump, sexy lady. We do the Humpty Hump. We do the Humpty Hump. Yeah, I remember that. Gulo, so love and respect to 203 New Haven, Connecticut. Perfect emoji, 2 thumbs up emoji, clear Sam. Thank you. I appreciate giving me the feedback. Sometimes I worry about that. Thank you, Gulo, so love and respect to Connecticut. Have I ever been to Connecticut? Yes, I have. Drove through it a few times, going through New York, then to Connecticut when I went upstate New York, through Connecticut to Boston and Vermont. I went through Connecticut a couple times. AI Gaming. Hey, Sam, what's going on? AI Gaming. You said something that really hit home the other day. Okay. Be kind to your soul. Amen. It's not easy sometimes. I realized I had not been doing that. Amen. That's self-care. Now it's my new mantra. Amen. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. During the weekend, find time for yourself. I don't care if you have a family, 2 kids, and 2 dogs. Love and respect your family, but take time for yourself, completely by yourself. Go for a walk at night, not with your wife, not with your husband, but by yourself. You can walk with your wife and your husband and your kids too, but take a separate time for yourself. Why? Self-care. Self-care equals self-repair. Someone, please, I ask of you, please, in my chat room, self-care, then put the equal symbol, equals self-repair. Self-care equals self-repair. The better you take care of yourself, the better you'll, love your friends and family and loved ones and all those things. And that's important. Excuse me. Just looking at something. And Luke, I know you talked about in the past letting go that you are not, I'm sorry, let me read this from the beginning. Luke says, I know you talked about in the past letting people go that are not celebrating your life, yep, or bringing positive vibes, yep. To you, keep moving forward, What do you do when it's family members? Oh, cut them off. Same thing. When you're an adult, you cut them off. You have to. That's part of being an adult. Evaluating what's healthy for yourself. And that's why I cut my father out. That's why when I was getting my physical health together, I didn't cut out my mother, but I put up serious boundaries because my mom's she's obese and she has diabetes. And she was trying to give me advice on food. I loved her, I respect her, but I had to have boundaries. Why? Because as an adult, you have to take care of yourself. And when I ended up in a hospital, when I ended up in a shitty position, who's responsible for you? Your mom can't make you physically feel better when you haven't taken care of yourself. She can love you, she can sit there next to you in the hospital bed, but she can't make you feel better. And, no one else can, as an adult, that's the first thing you have to learn is you have to take care of yourself, okay? Because if you're going to live the game that, all I can say, that's what I wanted to say. It's not easy, it's painful, and look, my father did good things for me, my mother did good things for me, and all of them have been a blessing. They also, there's some bad, but there's a lot of good. It's not about keeping score, and all I can do is I have to evaluate each day of my life, and I have to make the best decisions for me, because that's it. And what I found, when you're in a fucked up place, you're going to make everyone around you miserable because you're going to be miserable. And that's why, too, I make sure that I spend enough time by myself before I go see my mother or before I go see somebody else. Because if I'm just there, just for the sake of being there, I'm resentful, I'm miserable, and my mom can sense that, and everyone can sense that, and that's when arguments happen. That's it. That's the answer. Good question. Lillian, thanks for the afternoon waves. No problem. It was very magical. Thank you. By being by the ocean heals my soul. Out of Illinois. Waking up early is important to get a jump on the day. I totally agree with that. Good to see you, brother. Out of Illinois says, great to catch you live again. Good to have you out of Illinois. I was looking at an old live feed when you were in it, I think back in March. So I appreciate you being consistent, staying with me. Love and respect to you and everybody out in Illinois. Johnny Darn. Just went through that inner circle crap. Johnny, love and respect to you, brother. When you cut someone out, you're going to feel guilty and you're going to go back and forth in your mind if you did the right thing. What I can tell you is you did the right thing because you had to do it for a reason. There's a reason that you have a feeling inside you. There's a reason that you can't rest until you do something. There's a reason you leave a relationship. It's unhealthy. After a couple of weeks or a couple of days, you start to feel guilty, like, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. And then you go back and realize, oh, there's a reason I left. So you may go back and forth a little bit, but you're going to eventually come to the realization in life, there's a reason that you left in the first place. And never forget that. Keep going forward, brother. That's how you keep your balance. Riding high. Some people work night shift. Yeah, love and respect to that. Milano. Hey, Sammy, nice tan. Can you see that, brother? Thank you, Milano. I appreciate that. The Mills love this one. I look good lighting, too. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. Thank you, Milano. Jacqueline. You were on point, Samuel. Thank you. I'm reading The Art of War. I've heard about it, never read it right now, and I agree you have to keep fighting. And then she gave the muscle emoji, fire emoji, and then heart. Well, thank you. Just remember that I don't know all the things of The Art of War, and I remember Pac talking about reading that, but just remember every book, every video I do, everything is based on one person's perspective. And yes, we're at constant war, but mainly the thing we're at constant war with is ourselves and keeping ourselves in a place of peace. The only thing, sometimes I worry about, with the Art of War is this about a manipulation game to see, can we have control over the world and control over people? And, because there's a difference between wanting to influence society and people for the better and wanting to control and manipulate them. And you better believe that a lot of people are in it just for the art of war of mass control and financially and every other way. So, but that being said, you can still learn a lot of principles even from ungodly people. But just be mindful of that. Just make sure that we always, the main person you're at war with is yourself. Just keep yourself in a good place. Luke. Oh, yeah. Sing it, brother. We got to start a hip-hop group. Oh, no, I ain't going to do that. But love and respect. As I get older, I care less, so I just sing out loud. There's blessings to sing out loud, to, kind of make light of yourself and to laugh at yourself and to dance a little bit. It's like, when I was young, I was too stiff to do any of that. But as you get older, you care less kind of what people think. I mean, I never really care what people think, but I mean, as I get older, I definitely don't care what people think. I try to be conscious of, I know sometimes like I may hurt people because like I come across a little bit rough. So, but it's like, I also got to be me. It's a tough balance, tough balance. Milano, Sammy, what do you think about passive income? Well, I love passive income. I mean, passive income is you can basically get income from whether it's rental property, stocks, dividends, YouTube, different things. But what I found is for me, and anybody can comment on it, for me, like most of the passive income I've tried has never really worked out. With stocks, not sustainable. Sometimes I've made money, but then all of a sudden I'll lose more money than I made. So it's the thing with passive income that I've learned when I have my own business. Like some months I'd make good money, and then some weeks it'd just be a lot of liability and a lot of shit. YouTube, sometimes you go months without making anything, and then even when you make something, it's a couple hundred. It's very hard to make passive, sustainable income. If people are being honest, a lot of people don't be honest. Is someone who only tells you when they go to the casino and win. But the facts are that most people lose the majority of time. And what I have found it extremely hard to have sustainable passive income. I wish I did. That would be my ultimate goal. But even if I eventually did, what I can tell you is it's taken me decades to figure it out. Because I've had my own business, I've done things, like I say, whether they're stocks, whether they're investments, whether they're YouTube. And what I can tell you is it's very hard to find a sustainable, healthy, substantial income. Not just once in a while doing good, looking at over the course, your profit and loss over the course of 3 to 5 years. And you can consistently say for 3 to 5 years, you've made at least $50,000 on your passive income. Most people can't say that. Most people may say, look, last year I made $100,000, I made $50,000 on my passive income. Okay, what have you made for the past 5, 7 years? Most people won't tell it. Donald Trump didn't even give his tax records. Why? Because I guarantee you, you have to look at the track record of somebody's income, not just for 1 month, but for periods of time. Many people, even the big dogs of life, they're leveraging debt out the wazoo, and they just have the gift of gab. And the gift of gab allows them to borrow money and flip it, and borrow money and flip it. But if you didn't have that extreme gift of gab, and if you didn't want to fight the system with all your strength, and the banks just called those loans, you'd be bankrupt. And it's nothing against Trump or anybody like that, because look, Trump does some good things. I know sometimes, like I say, that it's not about that. I'm just trying to say that this is the game of life, okay? Because everybody wants passive income, but the truth is, it's very hard and very rare to sustain a substantial passive income. And I would love to hear anyone's testimony if they have sustainable, substantial passive income over the course of 5 years, and how much they make and what they do for it. And what I found in life is most people just tell you about their wins, not their losses. Good question, Milano, because I do think about that, and I still haven't figured it out. Sometimes I think I have it figured out, then I get hit in the ass. Sometimes I think, oh, I got this thing figured out, I make money off my stocks, and then all of a sudden I fucking lose. And I say, oh, shit, back to fucking zero. Or back to, like, I got to work the rest of my life. That's the truth. Now look, maybe one day I'll hit it, and then you really see me inspired. If all I had to do was if I just did videos, if I didn't have to, I'd be fucking super inspired. That maybe one day it happen. I want to stay hopeful, but I don't want to lose the money I work hard for either. Because that's the thing. Here's the thing, guys and girls. Passive income requires you to invest a certain amount of your money. Okay, so like I say, even if you're going to live off investments, what it requires you to risk your money. And the only way you get money is to work. So here you go, you've worked all these years, and anyone who's worked knows how hard it is to save money. So then all the money you save, you have to risk it. And risk is real, okay? Like you hear that little thing on trading stocks or no guarantee that the same return, everything is subject to risk. You don't realize how real risk is until you see your bank account numbers go down. And then you realize how long it took you to work to get that money. And it's fucking damaging to your mind. So at some point you have to say, look, I don't want to lose everything I've worked for. And I know people that have lost everything they worked for, so I don't want to say that hurtfully either. I remember when I was living in my townhome community, there was an older couple there that they lost like, I don't know what it was. For them, it was a lot of money. It was like they lost $100,000 when the stock market bottomed out or whatever in 2007 or 8. And for them, that was like their little retirement nest egg. And that hurt them. Eventually, look, the stock market went back up. But look, if all you have in your account is 100,000 and it goes down 50,000, you pull it out. You get scared as hell because who knows how long it's going to take to come back. You know, it's like everything else. I mean, obviously, only risk what you can afford to lose. But at the end of the day, I always often think about that. Even what you can afford to lose, it's painful to lose. You know, so you just got to be mindful of that. Out of Illinois, self-care equals self-repair. Thank you, brother, for being willing to type that. Luke loves singing karaoke. I'm not mad at that. So is our brother Doug from New Mexico. Luke, so definitely agree with you. Sing and let your soul shine. 3 stars. Thank you. Sally, you are really speaking to me today. Well, thank you. You're helping me so much. Thank you. Thank you much and love. Well, I appreciate that very much. Heart emoji and thumbs up right back to you. Luke. Oh, back to work. Laugh out loud. Yep. Tara, changed my profile name. Well, thank you for saying that. Your tan is so real. Well, thank you. It's very inspiring. Thank you. I'm very thankful for that. Janice. Hey, Janice. Listen, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Good. Thank you for the comment. Alan, Illinois. Alan, Illinois says stock charts help, but there are no guarantees. Yeah, there's no guarantees. I mean, you could study, and what I've did, I mean, there's been times like I've made money consistently for a long period of time, then all of a sudden, you have a bad couple days or a bad couple, and it's just, everything's gone. But look, if that's what you want to do, and it's working for you, I'm not mad at anyone. But for me, like I've said, I've worked 22 years for a reason, because I haven't found any other way to support myself other than work. If you have, I'm not like one of these people that hate on people who've made it. I say, God bless. As long as you like didn't hurt somebody or manipulate somebody to do it, I'm not mad at somebody else for making it. I'm happy for people. AI gaming. I feel like you give me a free mind and spirit workout daily. Well, thank you, brother. Like having mental fitness, personal training. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I saw somebody in Planet Fitness today, some hot chick getting a personal trainer session with some guy. I said, man, I should be doing that, but I'm not going to do that. Too much work. Illinois, slow climb, fast fall. Yeah, it's part of life. I mean, we all go through it, but that's okay too. Like, you know, even if you fall and you messed up, I mean, don't beat yourself up. Everyone's been through that. Successful people, I mean, you look at all the successful people. If you look at their track record, they've all been at bankruptcy. They've all pretty much been at like wit's end. They had enough endurance. They knew that like how to play the system, and they got back up. Many of them. People that run the world, they've all been there. So, you know, don't get too down on yourself, and don't let society beat you up. There's a lot of rich people that were able to endure losses because they had so. Look, even like people that like are real wealthy and like they make a lot of mistakes, they always got $1 million buried somewhere. Okay, so it's like even if the shit really hit the fan, like there's $1 million somewhere. You know it. I mean, you seen it as hidden in some account or something like so. Sometimes like sometimes poor people are looked at like they're stupid, right? Because like they got maximum couple $1,000s to their name or whatever, and they lose it. Most wealthy people, they've lost that amount times 100,000. But they were able to endure it because they had enough buffer. They had enough extra cash reserves. I mean, even businesses, the majority of businesses fail. Many of them fail because they're undercapitalized, because you need a certain amount of money to be able to lose for a long enough period of time without giving up. The key is there's no guarantee that even if you lose all that money and you don't give up, you'll eventually make money. There's no guarantees anywhere. And you're going to think in times in life that you got it all figured out, and then you're going to get hit in the mouth. All you can do is always try to have your emergency fund. I haven't always had that. Try to have a 6 months to a year's worth of money you need to just be in savings. That's not easy. Just like I show by example, stay in the workforce until you have sustainable income. Now, if you want to take a risk, then take it. I'm not mad at you either. But at least, especially in the beginning of your life and your career, try to get some type of work experience and some type of certifications, that if it doesn't work out, you got something to fall back on. Some people preach don't have a plan B. I'm not mad at you, but just understand the odds aren't in your favor, and there's nothing wrong with trying to beat the odds. But also just realize that if you become destitute, the people that told you, like, look, just take risk and don't worry about having a plan B, they're not going to feed you either. You realize that as an adult very quickly, that no one's going to feed you. So, like, people can encourage you to take risks. People can encourage you to quit your job or do this. But at the end of the day, no one's... When I go to the gas station and I have to fill up my tank, no one is standing beside me giving me money. It doesn't matter how good my tan looks. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I got to pay money to put gas in my car, and no one else is there to help me. And you're going to experience that as an adult, so never forget that. Rideshare Sean, been watching your videos for a while now. Well, thank you. Thank you for being open and honest. Thank you. Does Planet Fitness membership Black Card good for all over U.S.? Yes. From my understanding, I pay $21.37 per month. That's taxes included. It's deducted monthly out of my checking account. And yes, that's the Black Card membership, and that includes any nationwide, all throughout the USA, any Planet Fitness you can go to. There was some restriction, like you can only go to a different one other than your home base for only 10 days in that month. But only one time I had like a gym say that I went there more than 10 times and I had to go to a different one and then come back at the end of the month. Very few people do that. But yeah, definitely Planet Fitness. I was thinking about that this morning. That's the best $21.37. That's the best recurring bill I've ever had. I use it fully. As a nomad, Planet Fitness is going to be your #1 must-have. I can tell you they've got the most gyms in the areas I've traveled. Most of them are 24/7. They have free Wi-Fi. Showers are always clean for the most part. You get a light workout in, and to me, it's a blessing, and it's a direction. I often say, like, one of the things you're going to struggle with is what do you do with your time? So like this morning, like if you don't have work that day, like this morning, like I woke up, I slept till 6:45 a.m., which is late for me. I got up, I said, what do I want to do today? I don't have to work. And I started to get into a mindset of I just like wander around, and I can slowly feel my soul lose energy. There's nothing wrong with wandering, but I like to do exploring. Wandering is like you have no direction. If you have no direction for a long enough period of time, your energy levels will go down. You need some direction. So I said to myself, Sam, you got to keep some structure. You got to have creativity. Creativity is free-flowing, but you also need structure. So I said, Sam, stick with some structure. Go to Planet Fitness. Go to Planet Fitness, shave, shower, get a light workout in. That'll set the tone for your energy. And as soon as I did that, I felt a lot better about myself. And then the day flowed, and I was able to travel, explore, have some fun time at the beach. But if you just wander and you don't start that structure, you're going to find yourself not in a good space. Marion says, hey, heart emoji and respect. Well, thank you. Better ViewTubes. Sam, hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Love and respect to South Carolina. When you going back up north? I was thinking about that today. I don't know. I was talking to my mom. I don't know. I definitely was going to wait till after Labor Day because I didn't want to go back up to Jersey in the summertime. As far as like the Jersey Shore is too crazy. I got to spend some time by the beach, but I really don't have a desire to go back at all, to be honest with you. But I do want to see my mom. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the coming weeks or if I'll wait till October. I haven't decided yet. I'm still reflecting on that. Could be soon. It could be in several weeks. I don't know. I do want to see my mom. I will see my mom. But it's a good question. Wave at me. I'm definitely going to wave at you when I go through South Carolina. Good to see you and hear you. Always good to see you and hear you. Praying for your health daily. Yeah, I mean, the only good thing I can be encouraged about is that when I go back up north this time, I know I can come back. It was very sad to my soul over the course of the past 2 years when I was coming down to Florida on vacation, scouting the land and doing different things. It was very sad for me to leave Florida knowing that I don't know when I'll come back, because my job was up north and I didn't know what I was going to do. It was very sad. But how did I keep the vision in front of me? I just kept moving forward towards my goal. Little by little, step by step, fall you get back up. You got to keep moving towards your goal. You got to keep moving, got to keep moving. That's how you keep your balance. Marin, get some skills, learn something useful, and not everyone can do. Yeah, I mean, and even if everyone can do it, what I found in life is if you just show up every day and if you have a positive attitude, you'll outlast most people and you'll move up the ladder. Most people will drop out by default. That's what I've learned, so that's true. BBT says, hey, Cheesy McStuffins in the building. Cheesy McStuffins, hey, BBT. BBT laughing, good. BBT, hello, Marin, I have one savings account, all caps, just for hurricane season here in Florida. Love and respect to my fellow Floridian. Also have cash stashed elsewhere. I'm not mad at that. Emergencies are a real fact of life. Amen to that. Having that cash brings a sense of comfort and self-esteem. Well, I agree with that totally. And I haven't always had it. And that's why I try to share boldly, but I also try to have compassion because I realize there's people out there that don't have 2 nickels to their name. And I've been there. And I know how scary and painful that is. Like sometimes when I watch Dave Ramsey, I cringe because this guy's so far removed from when he was broke that sometimes he's speaking so rough. You don't realize when you don't have nothing to your name and you only got it's scary as hell. I mean, that's why I downsized my life and live simply. I never want to feel that again. You know, when you have to borrow money from people or depend on people, it's just, it makes you want to throw up. But I've been there. All I can tell you is how do you get past it? You just got to keep moving. Keep moving forward, work, save, and live simple. That's going to be the biggest financial advice I could ever give to you. Even if I would hit the lottery tomorrow, I mean, that's like hitting, and I don't even play the lottery really anymore at all. But, and I see people doing scratch offs. All I can say is this, like, even if for some way I was able to make money in the future, my best financial advice is always going to be this based off my life experience. Work consistently, live below your means, and save a certain amount, period. If anything else can get you rich, that's a positive and that's a cherry on the cake. But the foundation of financial wisdom is always going to be work consistently, live below your means, and that's it. There's no magic answer there. Ride, share, Sean. Thank you for the response about Planet Fitness. No problem. Thank you for the question. Whenever I go to Gold's, that's Gold's Gym, I remember that. It's naked old guys. Yeah, that was back in the 80s that like Arnold Schwarzenegger was pumping at. And guys on the juice and the weights. I hope Planet Fitness has some diversity. It does. You just got to remember, Planet Fitness is not like an extreme workout place. It's really for like just regular people. Like they have Tootsie Rolls like when you walk in. They have like Bagel Day and Pizza Day. And like for like a really like intense workout guy, they get pissed at that. And there's no like slamming weights. There's no grunting. There's actually like an alarm go off if you slam weights. It's just for like regular people. I just like it again because it's 24/7 for the most part, clean bathrooms, and I just want a light workout. I worked out like a madman in my life. I'm just trying to I've learned through losing 200 pounds what you eat and how much you eat, especially as you get older. That's the #1 factor of your weight management. I'm not really trying to go crazy with the workout. And I can tell even in my body, I've lost muscle mass just from my age. As you get older, your muscle mass, it just goes. There's no way around it. Doesn't matter how good you take care of yourself. I look at the Ultimate Warrior too. Like when he was at 50, he was working out like a madman, but his body still was like, flabby a little bit because it's just when you get older, I don't care how much you work out, your body's good. So you better have a good personality. That's what's gonna get the MILFs. Never forget that. Work out in the personality. Marin, been there, stay humble. Afterwards, look back. It was another great teacher. Marin, good comment. Love and respect you. Tara, yes, a workout can change your day for sure. Definitely. Mental health. It's a mind shift. Totally agree with that. Best medicine for the mind, body, soul. Amen. We on the same page. Marin, you looking good tonight. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take a compliment when I get one. Hey, look, you're going to get enough critics in life. When you can get a compliment, you take it, you smile, you say thank you. That's what I say. Out of Illinois, healthy diet and moderate exercise. Out of Illinois, thumbs up to you. You nailed it. No need to add to that. Good job. Marin, laugh out loud. You have a personality too. Well, thank you. That's what helps me with the milk. Even when I was big, when I was 350, I was grabbing some ladies. Well, I got a good personality. It's true. But eventually, like, I get into with people and I want to be by myself. That's true too. Mm-hmm. So what do? I mean, you guys know what I do. I just watch porn and try to stay positive. Now, what I can tell you is I appreciate everyone. Try to do the best I can. I'll never make everyone happy. You'll never make everyone happy. So you just got to just stay positive, do the best you can, and you got to keep moving forward. That's my prayer for you tonight. That's my prayer for myself. Out of Illinois, gift of gab. Now, it's true. Look, one of my gifts is the gift of gab, a little bit communication. But the one thing that I've kind of tried to always do is not use that gift of gab to manipulate others. Okay, that's why, like I often say, like, believe me, I know I have the gift of gab. I could use that to like pander to people, to get donations, to, believe me, I know I've been blessed with the gift of communication. I try to freely give it and try to use it in a way where it doesn't manipulate and hurt others. Because believe me, I've, like, whether it was in a church or whether it's not, I had plenty of opportunities where I could have used my gift of gab and just manipulated people. But I never wanted to live that life. And I thank God the Lord put that in my spirit, never to live like that. And you're going to realize that your gift is going to give you an opportunity to do two things. Your gift is going to give you an opportunity to either be used to set people free or to manipulate people. Now, the first person your gift is going to help is you. It should help you. Like, the gift of communication helps me in my job. But even that, like, I don't use that to, like, manipulate my way to the top. I'm very honest and sincere. I try to be very sincere. I try not to play politics. Now, sometimes you got to be political, but even like when I'm political, I'm pretty direct. In this world, what you're going to see is many people use their gift solely for manipulation and ambition. Nothing wrong with using your gift to get ahead, but sometimes in life, don't just try to squeeze the most out of your gift just to make a little bit of extra money. Because believe me, I could squeeze the most out of my gift and I can make a little bit more and do a little bit different things, but I would lose my soul. I wouldn't be able to have a peace that matters to me. It doesn't matter to some people. So I appreciate that. Maren, are you shy outside of your public self? No, when I was young, I was a little bit shy. Not anymore, but I do stay to myself. I don't want, I like virtual friends. I don't, but I'm very social. Like when I see people like in the streets and when I see, but like just like hi and goodbye. Like I really don't get into long conversations. Like even like now, like when you see me at the beach, I try to find a secluded area. When I go to Starbucks and stuff, I sit by myself. I'm not antisocial though. I'm not anti-people. Like I could talk to people. I'm respectful. I know how to work with people. But for me, for self-care, for self-repair, I need a certain amount of time in solitude. That's what I've learned for me. So that's why I do it. Not because I'm shy really anymore. It's just that I need that for my self-care. And the next thing I need for my self-care is to get to bed so I can get the proper amount of rest. And that's what I'm planning on doing after I decompress a little bit here. So I pray you have a peaceful night. Do the best you can. Keep pushing forward. Stay as thankful as possible.